It's the one thing we never seem to have enough of. How we spend it, that's always up for debate. For some, time goes into work. For others, it's poured into making memories. More often than not, you need one to afford the other. Still, we try to find the balance. But how do we hold on to the moments that matter? The good, the bad, the ones that changed us. In an age where attention is pulled in every direction, we struggle to remember what even happened yesterday. Our memories quietly slipping into the background. Sometimes the answer is simple. A photograph, a single frame, a still moment frozen in time, a birthday, a heartbreak, a quiet afternoon that didn't feel important until it was gone. This is how we keep our memories alive. This is how we remember. All right, I hope you enjoyed that short film that I just played here. I created this short film in collaboration with Dehancer. They had reached out to me about doing a fair and honest review of their plugin. I said, sure, why not? I would love to. I love checking out different plugins, different LUTs, different things to kind of make my videos stand out or look different or just give kind of a cool overall vibe to them. So was happy to do this review, fair and honest, for them. And I had this idea in mind about memories and photos, and doing something in a short film type of deal for a while now. I haven't really created a short film, so this is my first one. And the collaboration and partnership with Dehancer couldn't have come at a better time, I suppose, because I feel that this particular plugin and how it operates is makes the most sense for this particular project here. So what I want to do is kind of go into DaVinci. That's what I use for my editing software. But if you use Premiere or Final Cut, they have it for that as well. They also have an app that you could download and utilize on your phone for creating videos on your phone, Reels, TikToks, things like that. So let's dive into my DaVinci here. All right, so we are up and running here on DaVinci. Again, this is what I utilize for my editing software. And here we are in my basic node tree here. I won't go into the node tree specifically. The thing to note is for utilizing this plugin, you don't need to create all these different nodes. And I'm not sure how it's done in Premiere because I don't use Premiere, but I'm sure similarly, you don't have to do it there either. You just have to basically create your color space transform here, put it to Rec 709, and then really just create one more node, which would be your LUT. So to get started with this plugin with Dehancer, once it's downloaded and everything, you'll see it down at the bottom of your library within your effects here. And you'll just take that and drag it over. I already did, so I'm not going to do that, but it's in there now. And if you go into settings, you'll be looking at something that looks like this. So in the first area here is the input. I chose, the source, which was my camera. I use a Canon R in log. And if you didn't do all these node trees and all your different corrections ahead of time, you can do them in here. So you can change your exposure composition, your temp, tint, all that within here, which is neat. And then under film, you can choose which film that you want to use. I used Kodak, but you can choose so many different other ones that they have in here. So if you want to do Kodak Vision 50D, it'll change it up a little bit. If you want to do Konica Minolta, what else they have in here? Fuji. So all these like different subtle changes, right? That you can utilize, which is cool. And then you can kind of change the way the film looks here. So you can do contrast boost, which obviously maybe don't do that. You can bring it down. So if you want it really contrasty and grainy, that looks kind of cool. Kind of playing it through here. right? But I chose to kind of keep it around here. And then going down, I didn't do too much, with this here. And then going down to the print itself. So as if you were going to be printing a photo out, I used Fujifilm 3513, but you can do glossy paper, so it's going to give that little bit more of a punch there, as gloss usually does when you print. You can do linear. So there's all, a few different versions. I thought that this looked the best, and then you can adjust it here a little bit, and it kind of gives, various different adjustments. So that looks pretty neat. And with color head, film grain, with this, just as if, you're taking photos and everything, it's your ISO. I did it at 500 because, it gives a little bit of a grain, but nothing crazy. But you can choose, how, whatever you might want on here. All right. And the next thing that I utilized most was the film damage. You can kind of create how much damage is going to look to it. So if I crank that up, just kind of play through here, you'll kind of see some of the damage coming through, the little whites popping up, all that. I'll try to do it slower here. So it gives off a little bit of damage, which is kind of cool. And you can adjust it to as much or as little as you want, right? A little bit of a cool effect. But the one that I love the most is the overscan feature here. So that's what's giving off this look right here. And I can change it up to standard 16 millimeter. I can go super 35. Oops. You can do sharp, normal, you can do rounded. It all looks pretty cool if you ask me. You can do widescreen, so it kind of gives this look, which I thought was super cool. And honestly, I can see this feature here, the overscan feature in particular, one that I would utilize on certain projects or certain clips, within my films, because I think it gives a different look to a video, which is really neat. So that is, high level overview of what this plugin does, and I think, as far as how I would use it in the future, I think it would be a tool that I would utilize in probably very specific cases of films and videos that I make. I don't think I'd be utilizing it in everything, but I think it's a really good tool to have in the tool belt, so to speak, to be able to bring out for maybe client work. So maybe you want to show your client something different other than kind of your vanilla branded work that's very clean and everything. Maybe you want to do something that's a little bit more artistic and a little bit more punchy, that's going to stand out from the crowd, because, as we see from a lot of branded work, it kind of all looks the same. And I'll be honest, I'm guilty of that as well, because it's what the client wants, essentially, right? So I think it's something that is that you can keep in your tool belt to show them, to say, hey, maybe we can do something with this to kind of make it look a little bit different. And as people are scrolling through their Instagram or their TikTok or YouTube, it'll be a showstopper, so to speak. It's going to get someone to kind of pause for a minute on that video and maybe check you guys out a little bit more. I can definitely see using it on documentary type work and different scenes, to kind of show what I'm trying to convey in a particular scene. If it's something that I'm looking to kind of convey an old school vibe with, I can definitely see utilizing this. I can see utilizing it in Reels, Shorts, TikToks, those types of platforms for different short form videos. I think I would definitely use that overscan feature for a lot of it. To be honest, it just gives a really cool, really cool vibe with that. So overall, I think it's a plugin that I would utilize, on a case by case basis. It wouldn't be something that I would utilize on every video, but it's definitely something worth having at your ready to bring out to kind of give that extra creativity to your videos, to your films, to work that you're doing with clients. There's an iOS app too, an Android app too, that you can utilize for doing videos on your phone, which is really neat because a lot of people are doing videos on the phone. So, if you are someone who is just getting started out in content creation, if you're an influencer, or somebody that's just creating on their phone, this app I think would be beneficial to you to kind of create some differentiating content out there. So overall, absolutely check the plugin out, check Dehancer out. I will leave a link in the description below for 10% off if you choose to buy this plugin. Definitely utilize that affiliate code there, and happy filming.